In this video, I will use our Scleral profile map as the basic from where you start thinking about what type of landing zone can you design. After you've been checking the quality of the measurement, it is recommended that you start with checking out the Scleral profile map. You can find 4 options: spheric, toric, quad, and irregular. I will show with 4 examples and the flowchart how I approach and the minimum amount of steps required to design a lens. If you just find blue rings, this means that as well as the limbus area and the sclera is more or less spheric in shape. So that means that no quadrant shows a significant difference compared to the others. This flowchart will help you with all the steps you have to take before that you can start using the automated algorithms. What you can see here, if we follow the flowchart, is that at the moment that you're finding a spheric shape, so blue rings, you can switch immediately to the first lens fit algorithms. So I click on the first lens fit tab on the left side, and the first thing that I do is checking out the HVID. The HVID can be found on the bottom right corner. In this example, 12.2. Many labs recommend you a certain diameter, lens diameter, based on the HVID. For this example, I will be working with the Zen lens, and the lab is recommending you to go to a 17 millimeter lens when the HVID is above 11.8. So I've hit calculate. That took about 30 seconds to come up with a lens prediction. And here we see on the bottom the APS-1 and APS-2. APS is the name that Bausch is using to name their landing zone. So our algorithms always follow the naming system given by the lab, and behind that you will find a number. If you're fitting a spheric or a toric lens, 1 is referring to the flattest meridian and 2 to the steepest meridian. Well, what we notice in this example is that both values are predicting go for a steep 1. Or in other words, you can design a spheric landing zone. Example 2. So I've switched to the Scleral profile map, and here I notice these green-red rings. So they are indicating that we're looking at a sclera and the limbus, which are toric in shape. So if we look in the flowchart, we also notice that here we can move on directly to the first lens fit algorithms. Here I skip the part checking the HVID, although you always have to do that. But now I just move on. So for this example, I've been using a Blanchard One Fit matte, and you see that right now the landing zone is called edge, and the edge 1 is much flatter compared to the edge 2. So here the algorithm predicts a toric fitting lens. Example 3. So I've switched to the Scleral profile map again, and in this example you can see that all the rings have the 4 colors. So this is indicating that this sclera looks quad specific. So I'm checking the flowchart again, and if I follow the the line to quad, here I have to consider something more. Do I design the optics spherical, so let's call it simple optics? Then I recommend to check the chord length at 15 millimeters. If you consider designing a multifocal lens, wavefront aberration control, or a front cylinder, I would suggest going for a quad specific landing zone. Why do I make this difference? This tool assumes a perfect centering lens. This is not always required, but as soon as you start to design more complex optics, you need the best centration as possible. For this example, I do design simple spheric optics, so in this case I have to check a chord length at 15 millimeters. So let's show how to do that. In the software I go back to the bisphere elevation map and I type in 15 millimeters at the chord length, which you see outlined. And I check only one value, the difference between the T-sec and the N-sec, so the difference between the nasal and the temporal sagittal height. This value is below 0.4 millimeters or 400 microns. I personally often consider going for a toric lens instead of a quad specific landing zone. Why? Because a little temporal decentration is most often acceptable as long as you're designing a simple spheric optical zone. So I check out the flowchart again. So let's follow the steps. Quad specific profile map, spheric optics, yes. Chord length at 15 millimeters, the N-sec T-sec difference is below 400 microns. So I made my choice for a toric landing zone. So I move on to the first lens fit algorithm. I have been checking the HVID. For this example, I've selected the VS Scleral. I've hit calculate, and here you see that the SLZ, as they call it, are coming up with a toric landing zone. If, however, I do prefer to design a quad-specific design, so in case that the N-sec T-sec difference is much higher, or that you're designing more complex optics, then you have to select a quad-specific design. Some labs like Boston Sight is only doing quad-specific lenses, but when you're talking about labs like Excel, Bausch, Blanchard, you have to select it specifically. So we do not keep them in the same algorithms. So if you want to come up the algorithms to come up with a quad specific design, you have to select it specifically yourself. And that's what you see here in this drop down menu. They are named quad or QS, quad specific. So here you see an example from the Blanchard OneFit Matte quad specific. And here it is important not to get confused by the numbers. So you see edge 1, edge 2, edge 3 and edge 4. And beyond that you see an arrow pointing in the direction of what quadrant it is indicating. And after that you also see the angles as how all optometrists are used to work in the Tabo system. Example 4. The last example is showing you an irregular scleral profile map. So the inner rings are showing up in blue, so the limbal zone is spheric in shape, but the outer rings are showing to be irregular. So let's check the flow chart. If it's indicating irregular, you have to move back to the bisphere map. This is the bisphere map from the same eye. And here you have to start checking if you can find any local elevations. With local elevations, I mean local elevations in the sclera, and most often we are talking about 1 or 2 pinguiculae. So start checking for a local red or white area in the nasal and the temporal area. Here the red ring is showing where you can find the pinguicula. If we check out the flow chart, we see that you go to irregular, you have checked out the bisphere map, and now it is recommending you to pick up contact, so to consult Eaglet Eye or your preferred lab. Why to do this? Because so many labs, so many solutions to deal with irregular shaped scleras. So most often we're talking about pinguiculae, and there are many solutions in the market. So it is best to consult, with us or with your lab, how to deal with this problem. This flow chart is kept as small as possible. In future videos, we will have an expert level lens fitting, and it's building upon what I've presented here. So I will go dig deeper into what can I do with the bisphere elevation map, what can be the use of the tangent angles map, specific lens lab specific videos. So what solutions do they have for dealing with irregularities like pinguicula?